One. So I rarely complain about From, if ever. I've never really made a video diving into complaints about From, because I do think that they have done a very good job of writing the show, particularly this season thus far. I think has been just A1. I think they've done a very good job from episode one right out the gate to even episode three. And I know some people seem kind of split with episode three. But to me, I felt like they did a really good job of just kind of establishing these story points, establishing these character stories that are going to kind of ramp up the next 7 episodes. Kind of the calm before the storm. You got the heavy hitter, just boom boom type episode packed with action. Then you got the emotional heavy hitter, the boom boom boom. Right? It's just like, man, right? Just third episode, let's take a little break. Let's let you kind of get your bearings in and get ready to ramp up the rest of the way. And they kind of set up these story points in order to do so. But one story point that I think that they really missed the ball on is Jim and the phone call. Now, look, to be fair, maybe there's more to it. Maybe they'll continue to kind of make that a point as we move forward into the season. So it's very possible that, hey, maybe I end up making a video a couple weeks from now going like, hey, I take it back. This was a great point. But I only have the information to go off of that I have at the moment. And going off of the information that I have at the moment, they really were disappointing with the Jim phone call. And even if they do kind of, in hindsight, make it better, the setup was still not great. Because they really hyped up this Jim phone call from the trailer to the moment it actually happened, having that kind of be the cliffhanger moment. And you get the, Dad, it's Thomas. And we all know it's not Thomas. Even Jim knew it wasn't Thomas. But instead of setting it up to really kind of break down Jim and maybe even gain his trust, it was just very lackluster and disappointing. It led to nothing, right? The voice says, I want to help you. And then, hey, you shouldn't let your kids be outside alone this close to dark. And he rushes to go save his kids and all that stuff. And it leads to nothing, literally nothing. There was no struggle, no compromise position, no nothing. Where I just think it would have been a much better story where he receives this phone call. He doesn't believe it's Thomas. Whatever voice it is on the other line says, I just want to help you. I really do. Dad, it really is me. Like, here, I'll prove it to you. I'll help you, right? Julie and Ethan, Dad, they need your help. My brother and sister, they need your help. Please go help them. However you want to set it up, right? Jim goes and runs to go help both Ethan and Julie, but put them in a compromised position. Maybe they got locked in the barn, right? And they don't have a talisman or anything, and Jim's kind of in a race to the clock for the sun going down. Boom, gets them out of the barn right when the monsters are coming, and then they take off running to the house, and Jim ends up saving Ethan and Julie, all thanks to the voice on the phone. Right? That would have been just such a better setup for the phone call. And now you start building the trust. Now the phone call, thank you, Dad. You have this other moment. And Jim's still very skeptical. Like, I still don't believe it's you. I still think you're just messing with me, right? Like, you've helped people before and given people information before and then just rug pulled them and really use it to break down Jim. I get that the phone calls are kind of poking the bear, right? Kind of trying to bother Jim, right? You even saw it with Kenny when he's in the diner and the jukebox starts playing, right? A little jukebox at the table. Like, Fromville is just messing with people at this point. It's just trying to get under your skin. It's just trying to break you. It's trying to bother you. But what better way to break somebody than to gain their trust, have them really start to believe and buy in, and then just pull the rug from them. Right? I just think that would be so much better and go such a longer way than what they've set up with this so far. I just feel like it hasn't really gone anywhere. It didn't really go anywhere. It didn't add anything necessarily. Yes, I understand that Jim's dealing with the struggles of his wife and, the disconnect from his kids. Both Ethan and Julie just really feel like, their dad should be responsible. And it's just, you feel like he's losing his children. And he just lost his wife. And the phone calls are further to add salt to the wound. That's why it's Thomas. It's Thomas because, again, it's a child that you lost. Hey, you lost me. You're going to lose the others. Just wait. It's a matter of time. You're already losing them. Even if, Fromville doesn't get to them, they're going to eventually be so distant from you, you lost them. I get that. I get that that's the setup. I get that that's the point. I get that that's the approach. I think you still could have done that just in a much better manner than what we got. All right? Continue to build Jim's trust. Hey, Dad, Mom's still alive. Mom made it to the real world. She did. She freed the children. Or not, maybe not freed the children, but you could say that. You could essentially say whatever you want, right? Because it's not all true. You're just trying to gain his trust. But hey, he got out, or Mom got out. Mom's in the real world, right? She'll be home soon. Don't worry. She's on her way back. She's finding her way home. Don't worry, Dad. And now you have these kind of moments where Jim saves Tabitha or Julie and Ethan. Okay. I still don't believe you, blah, blah. Then you have the follow-up of Tabitha's still alive. He has the doubt in his mind. He's, I don't know why you're doing this, blah, 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 right? Have that set up conversation. And then Tabitha comes back. And now he's like, oh my God, the phone call was right. Is it Thomas? It's not Thomas. That can't be Thomas. But, maybe it asks a question like, okay, if you're Thomas, then answer this, and maybe it gets it right. Like, really start to break him down and manipulate him. Start to gain his trust. Right? We've already seen Jim kind of go the conspiracy route and kind of have these mental lapses, and it's starting to get to him, right? Like, he's feeling this disconnect from his children. He feels like he's lost his wife. Use that against him. Use that as ways to kind of really get under his skin, really get to his psyche, and gain his trust. And now he every time that phone rings, he wants to answer it. You set it up to where every time that phone rings, he's gonna lose, isn't it? Pulling it out the wall, right? Like when you could have had it to where you had him right where you wanted him. You give him, you give him the first taste. It's pretty good, huh? Yeah, you like that? Here. You know what? Try a half slice. Man, wouldn't you love a whole pie here? Yeah, you would. Here you go. Here's a whole pie. You got me? You a customer? All right, let's go. Right? Like, do that with Jim. I think that would have been just such a great approach and a really great way to kind of establish what you needed to establish. Still keep it within the mainframe. You're not really changing much. It's just, all the same sequences could have happened, right? Jim could have went and helped and ran to Julie and Ethan. But instead of them just chilling, living their best life, vibing with the animals, Jim could have actually approached and ran up on them in a tough spot, in a compromised position, to where he had to go and help him. He had to go and save him. And it would have also given us a little action so even the people that are kind of like, man, this was kind of a slower episode, would have at least gotten some type of dopamine hit, right? Like some type of adrenaline rush. Because you're racing to the clock. Maybe the monsters are getting close, right? They're like, a couple steps away at this point. Boom, come on, go. And then you run to the house, and then they're safe. Talisman's on. And, and then the phone rings again. And then it's like, you got him, Dad. Good job. I told you. I knew you could do it. I told you I'm just here to help, right? And I just think you could have structured this so much better. You could have broken this down so much better. But as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Are you kind of mixed? You kind of in the middle? Again, like, maybe in hindsight, we look back and it's great. Right? Maybe they do kind of build it up and kind of have it that way. I still think the setup is a bit disappointing. Or maybe they use it for Tabitha, right? Maybe it starts with Jim and then it leads over to Tabitha. And Tabitha is the one that kind of falls victim to the phone calls and stuff. I mean, that could be a possibility. But I feel like they kind of missed the mark a little bit on this. Again, which is fine. This show has been fantastic. This show has really done its job. This season, I think, especially the first 2 episodes, I even said that I think you can make a genuine argument that the 2 best episodes in the entire series. Definitely an argument for other episodes. I'm just saying, if you said, hey, episode 1, season 3 is the best episode of the entire season, I really would not push back. Same thing with episode 2, just in different manners. Again, one was very action-packed, one was very emotional, but I thought they were very well written. Throughout the mix of things, you're going to have, those hit and misses. You're going to have these moments. There are other things that I'm sure I can nitpick a little bit if I really wanted to, but I avoid that. I don't really want to nitpick stuff. I really do love what they've done and just this show, period. But this was something that was set up to be big. The only reason I'm even talking about this and wanted to bring this up is because it was advertised as like this big thing. Right? It was set up as like, no, this is going to be something significant. And I just feel like it was very lackluster in how the approach was when they went about it. Again, it's not the end of the world. It's not something that's like, oh, this is terrible. But I also think good constructive criticism goes a long way. I'm not saying the people from are not watching my videos. It's nothing like that. But just to, hey, there's good and there's bad. There's things that can always improve. I think it's always good to kind of discuss and go over, right? If we're going to have real conversations, let's have real conversations, right? So join the conversation down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. We enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.